It's a familiar scenario. Two people brought together due to circumstance, not thinking much of one another, and different generations. Well, let the comedy ensue. La Cité Francophone Theatre presents Grace and Gloria, a witty look at how common sense and education clash as an odd couple steals your heart.
It's a great generational conflict, I would say, a question of values, the older generation versus the newer generation, the young professional versus, the elderly lady that stayed home on the farm her whole life. And it's a real clash between these two, but they really develop a great friendship and a real bond as they go further along the story, because Grace, of course, is on her deathbed on her last days, and Gloria is here to help her in principle. So in these first scenes, it doesn't seem like she's helping a whole heck of a lot, but that definitely changes, and we get really down to the heart of the story.
Tell us about the crew that you've assembled here. They're feeding off each other very well.
That's right. Thérèse Dallaire is somebody that's well known within the Francophone community. She goes way back with regards to the French theater scene here in Edmonton and in the province. And then we brought her together with Christy Hansen, who's well known to English audiences as well. Mm-hmm. So it's a great combo on stage. We got a real difference in the physicality. We got somebody who's quite tall versus somebody who's quite a bit shorter than each other. So that creates a great dynamic there. But it's definitely a comic tragedy. I mean, we're really working on all levels and all levels of emotion.
They're both fighting for what they want. I want to help her. Gosh darn it, I'm going to help her, and she doesn't want the help. And it's a really lovely story of these two unlikely people coming together.
Yeah, I noticed the relationship between you and your partner in crime up on stage. Yes. You feed off each other very well, and the audience, of course, is going to embrace that. Tell us about your co-actor on stage and what it's like to work with her.
Oh, well, Thérèse is fabulous. She's so much fun and so much energy. It's really interesting. I mean, she's 75 years old, and she's honestly like a 30-year-old. So she's got more energy than me most of the time. So it's been really great, and she's so much fun and so generous. For me, I'm working in my second language, and that's sort of a part of the character. She's from Toronto. Probably French is her second language, and then she's got this real Francophone lady as well. And Thérèse has been very generous with me, not being my first language, so it always maybe takes me a little longer, but she was so generous and very inviting and supportive of me, so she's been just a delight.
The language barrier can always be a challenge, especially if you're an audience member that doesn't speak or understand the French language. The wonderful room that is La Cité Francophone Theatre will provide English subtitles, making sure everyone can enjoy this play.
The theater of La Cité Francophone is, I know it's our home, but it's got to be one of the best theater spaces in this town, because I think what it does is create a real intimacy with audience, and we can be 200 strong sitting, but nobody's further away than 30 feet from the front of the apron, and I think it really creates real intimate, and we can I think we can play to a lot of subtleties within performance, because we're not trying to project out to an 800-seat house, we're looking at a smaller house.
Grace and Gloria runs November 17th through 20th, and again November 24th through 27th at La Cité Francophone Theatre. For tickets, call or head online to Tix on the Square. Brad Kelly, Shaw TV, Capital Region.